Jigsaw Joy. No more jigsaw woes. Good to go. Well, a little while back, I did a video on all the broken jigsaws that I had that had failed on me, and I hadn't found any parts for them. But now I discovered eReplacementParts.com, not sponsored, I just found them and I ordered the parts. So for my Bosch, my favorite jigsaw that broke after over 20 years of use, I found a new guide set, a little roller and complete with a framework. And I also found a new base, this base plate, because this had been dropped a couple of times over the years. It's a little bit bent. I want to go back to the original factory, nice flat surface and edge, because this was always a very accurate jigsaw. I like it a lot, very smooth. And I could probably have straightened this out, but you can never get it perfect. So for a little over 20 bucks, I got a new plate because I really like this jigsaw, and it's an expensive one to try and replace. So we're going to start with that. I think you have to take this off anyway in order to have easier access to replace that guide roller assembly. So it's a 5mm hex wrench or Allen wrench. That comes right off, so that's really not a problem. And I'm hoping that the new one, I hope the new one fits. So here's the new one, and yeah, it's pretty much the right part. It's an exact replacement. So I lucked out there. Good. Now it's the roller assembly I have to repair. So we'll take this out. In this new roller assembly, the roller is already in the bracket, and it comes with a little plate and a little, I don't know, like a little gasket type thing, and a new pin. We'll see how that works. Before I take it apart though, I want to clean this up a little bit, because it's got years and years of this dirt, sawdust, whatnot caked. So I'm going to just see what I can get out of there. No sense in trying to put a new part in with all that dirt. And I have that cleaned up pretty well. And there seems to be a little bit of a pin. Let's see if that comes out pretty easy. That wasn't too difficult. And let's see what happens here. And this comes out. We'll stick this in. Got a brand new pin here. Yep, that's easier. That's the way to go. Alright, so the new roller is in place. And we'll put this new base piece back on. Alright, that's where it needs to go. And tighten her up. Alright. Doesn't quite look like 90 degrees to me, even though it's lined up in the slot. Slot might be off. I'll deal with that later. Let's see how she works. Alrighty, she's looking good. Yep, liking that. I have a brand new Bosch blade going my Bosch Jigsaw. Could use any brand really. We'll put that in there. Yep, clicks. So all I gotta do is make sure it clicks. And then put her back in. That's all we have to do. Now we'll plug her in. Whoa! Back online. Alright. Do a quick test cut. Alright, my Bosch lives once again. I'm a happy camper. Well, now we move on to the Ryobi. Before I do though, I'm just going to take a little bit of lubricant. I'm putting it on the plunger there. It's very lightweight oil. Sewing machine oil would probably work the best. That'll work in and out. And I think we're good. So the Ryobi, let's take a look at that. I have a new roller assembly for the Ryobi here. Same company, I discovered they have all kinds of replacement parts for just about every tool made. Different brands, different types of tools. And they're not cheap, but they have them, and that's the key ingredient right there. So that's what that looks like. That's all I have to replace on this. And I have to take a look and see how that comes out. So they're not going to make it easy on me, I take it. Interesting. Well, I'm not sure how this comes out. I have to look into that. There's a little shaft in there and a spring. It might be easier just to take off the little circlip and just replace the roller and leave that frame in there, if I don't want to take it all apart. I really don't if I don't have to. It's like too much trouble. Yeah, I don't see any other way of doing this. So I'm going to have to get a very fine screwdriver. Be very careful that I don't mess this up, because if I lose a little circlip, I'm doomed. Alright, here we go. This tiny little circlip on there. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to try. Just don't want to lose it. I don't want to jam up my fingers either. Wish I could just order these little circlips. That one didn't want to come off. Maybe I'll use this. Not having much luck with this. I think I'm going to end up breaking it or something, or I'm going to lose it. Maybe I just have to pull this thing apart. I really don't want to, but I'm not sure of any other way to do it. Well, I guess I better have at it. Let's see. This is the same size. No, it's not. Smaller. I think there was one that came with it. I don't know where to get a smaller one. I think taking off this base plate is going to be helpful. It gets that out of the way, just like the other one. I think that just slides out. It does. Okay, let's get a closer look. Is there any other way to get in there and change that? I don't see one. I didn't want to bore everybody having you sit through watching me take out all these screws all on one side. We see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 screws to take out. See all the little holes here. To take off this side. And now this piece is exposed. Now what do I do with my new piece? Here it is. So let's see if this is going to come off for me. Okay, there's a little screw here. Not a screw, excuse me. There's a spring here. And it was on this shaft. And so this has to go back in. Can I put it back the way it was? I don't know. Let's see. I think it went in like that. I think I have it in the way it's supposed to be. Well, I'm not sure. See if there's another way that can go. It doesn't seem to be. No, I think I had it in properly, but I want to double check before I put this all back together. I'm going to try this again. This is kind of boring to watch. Okay, so I think at this point I can just put it back together. I don't know how easy that's going to be. It was a bear getting this little hook thing out. So, this little guide. I don't even know what it's doing there. Okay, I'm hoping everything will line up. I hope. It's not lining up exactly. I don't know why. Well, I think I just popped the spring out. Well, this isn't happy. So I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what. Take that off again. Oh boy. Never easy, is it? Well, I'll tell you, the Bosch was a whole lot easier. But, of course, you pay more for the Bosch. I guess that's the reason why. Okay, come on, get in there. Okay. I got the spring back in, I think. Alright. Alright, I think I've got that back in. I think it's supposed to be where it is. Why wasn't it going back together? Ah, I see. I see. There was something that wasn't lining up right. I'm not sure why. I don't know why that came askew. Uh-oh. That's not good. Gonna find out where that flew. Yeah, I found this little plate that flew, that part that flew away, and it landed several feet away, but at least I was able to find it. And there's this spring clip, or there's like a little, they call this a guide block, and this is, I guess, a guide spring, and they slide right into this little piece right here. I went to eReplacementParts.com and I looked at the exploded parts view to find out what this stuff was and where it was supposed to go. So I guess when I was putting this together, it must have come out, and I'm not sure how I get it back together, but well, we're gonna try. So that's where that goes. This I can actually put in afterwards. I don't want that to be hampering. They can just squeeze together and go in. That's not a big deal. At least I don't think. So, can I get it to go together now? We'll see. If nothing else screws up, I think we're all okay. I don't know if I can get it to work there. Will it work its magic? Come on, baby. Go on in. Go on in. I'm not having, I don't seem to be having very good luck getting this together. There it is. It's got a splinter. That's the trouble with using OSB for a bench top. Everything else seems to be going together, just that piece. Maybe it'll go in okay with the screws. I don't like to force anything though. It's not lining up right. I should just take that off and look. Yeah. Maybe, let's see, maybe if I push on this when this goes in, that might help. Okay, I got it back together. I'm hoping everything lined up when I got it back. It took a while. I had to play with it. Let me see if I can get this thing back in. I think it goes like that. Some sort of guide. Yep, got it in. Okay, let me see if this bad boy goes back on. We get the hole to line up. Okay, I guess I made that happen. Lined up. Okay, next let's put a new blade in it. I don't know, it seems to be in there now. I don't know, I'm going to plug it in and hope it works. I don't see any arcs and sparks. Well, seems to be working. Yep, seems to be working. Well, I gotta tell you, the big difference between the Bosch and the Ryobi is that while the Bosch is a much more expensive tool, it's a professional tool, as you could see, I could easily change those parts without having to take anything apart. Everything was accessible right from the outside. This Ryobi, on the other hand, I mean, it's a pretty good tool. It cuts okay and everything. But man, I had to take this thing apart, and then you get all these little parts that come out, and you got to try to figure out where they go back together, and it's time consuming. It's a real pain in the butt. And of course, it's a lot cheaper, but there's the difference right there. But at least now I have 3 jigsaws. They all work. The Ryobi, as you just saw, my Bosch, and then that cheap Harbor Freight one I bought just to get by with until I had the parts for these. So I now have 3 jigsaws at work. You could really help me out if you give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, share the video if you will, subscribe if you haven't. All of these things help. They don't cost you a dime. And if you'd like to check out my Patreon page, you can join for as little as $1 a month to help support DTC projects. And there's a lot of exclusive content within there that you won't see on YouTube. I posted on my Paul's Patrons Only YouTube channel, which all of those videos are hidden, and they can only be accessed through my Patreon page, the links that is, and except for some teasers. You can see what's on the Paul's Patrons Only channel. If you watch the teaser, it just gives you a few snapshots and a little synopsis of what's going on.